Hi, it's Alicia with Quilt on Tour, and this is just a quick little video on how to put together the block for our latest swap, Hangin With My Gnomies. It's pretty quick and simple, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is make our hat, and you'll take your hat pattern, and this is a flying goose, or if we're just making one, is it a flying goose or is it flying geese? Still confuses me. So we're going to make a flying goose for the hat. So you take your hat fabric and you're going to lay this here like that, and we're going to stitch along our drawn diagonal line and trim that off at 1/4 inch, and then lay the other piece on there, sew along and trim, and you'll end up with a flying goose, and that's your hat. And then we're going to put that to the side. So the next thing we're going to make is the sides of the body with the little shirts. So you're going to take your shirt fabric here, and you're going to draw diagonal lines on your background fabric, and you're going to lay that on top like this and like this, so they mirror each other. And we're going to sew along those diagonal lines to make the sides of the shirt. And they'll look like this when they're finished. And we'll put those to the side with the hat. And now we need to make the beard and the nose and all that part, the middle part. So you take your fabric for the beard, and I picked gray for mine, and the fabric for the nose, and I picked pink, but just because I think that makes the most sense. And then we're gonna lay these on top, and we're gonna draw lines on all of these squares that we're laying on top. And then you take the little square for the shirt pattern, and we're gonna lay that on top, and these two pieces are gonna mirror each other. So it's pretty simple. And then you take your bigger square of the shirt pattern, and you lay that on top like this, and we're gonna sew all along the lines. I took it to my sewing machine just like this because it pretty much stayed, but if you want to do them one at a time, that's fine too. I just thought it just was quicker for me. So once those are all sewn and trimmed to 1/4 inch, when you iron these, you want to make sure you iron your nose piece and your bigger shirt piece opposites on each of these so that you can nest them. If they're going the same direction, it's okay. It's just not as easy to nest them, and your heart points won't line up as well. So once all that's sewn together, it'll look like this. Super cute, and when you put it together, it looks like a heart. So the next step is to sew these two together, and you'll iron that seam open when you sew those together. And like I said, if your seams are nested or going the opposite direction, they'll be really simple just to nest, and your points will look nice. So once you sew those together, we're going to sew the sides of the body on here, and then you'll sew your hat onto that piece. So once this is all sewn together, the dimension of this will be 8.5 by 9. So if you want to trim it up so it's a little straight, you can. It's up to you. I trimmed mine up just so where the pieces met, it was straight. And then we'll sew on our background strips to make the block 10.5. So I sew on my sides first, and then I sew on the top and bottom. Now in the pattern, I made these a little bit bigger. These are 2 inches wide, just to make it easy for trimming down to 10.5. I know in some of the swaps, people were having a little bit of issue if I made the measurements too close to 10.5. If your seams are off just a little bit, then your block is smaller than 10.5, and people were getting frustrated. So I made your side pattern, or side and top pieces 2 inches. But if after you make a couple of these and you're comfortable with it, you can definitely just get away with 1.5 inches. So you're not wasting so much fabric, but totally up to you. So once it's all sewn together, we get this cute little gnome block I just think he's adorable. I can't wait to get mine. Can't wait to see what fabric choices you guys come up with. So yeah, the link for the pattern or the PDF of the pattern will be in our Facebook group, Quilts on Tour Groupies. So make sure you join that group if you haven't already. And that's also where the sign up forms for this block swap will be. The swap goes from January 14th to January 18th. The signups end January 18th. And again, the form will be found in our Facebook group and the link will be in the descriptions below. So I hope you have a lot of fun putting together this quilt block. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks!